Hey, super wow cool fam! Today, we're diving into something absolutely mind-blowing about our closest planetary neighbor, Venus. Did you know that a day on Venus is longer than its entire year? Yeah, you heard that right. Stick around as we unpack this wild fact, explore why it happens, and discover some other crazy things about Venus that'll make you say super, wow, and cool all at once. Let's get started. So, let's break this down. On Earth, a day is 24 hours, that's one full rotation on our axis. A year is 365 days, the time it takes to orbit the Sun. But Venus? It's a whole different story. Venus takes about 243 Earth days to complete one full rotation, meaning a single day on Venus is 243 Earth days long. But here's the kicker. It only takes 225 Earth days for Venus to orbit the Sun. So, a Venusian year is 225 days, which is shorter than its day by 18 Earth days. Imagine that! If you lived on Venus, you'd celebrate your birthday before the Sun even rose once. That's because the planet spins so slowly. In fact, Venus has the slowest rotation of any planet in our solar system. And here's another weird twist. Venus spins backward compared to most planets, including Earth. This is called retrograde rotation. So, if you were standing on Venus, well, first, you'd be crushed and burned, but we'll get to that later. The Sun would rise in the west and set in the east. How wild is that? Okay, but why does Venus spin so slowly and backward? Scientists think it might be because of a massive collision billions of years ago. When the solar system was young, planets were forming and things were chaotic. A huge object, maybe as big as a small planet, could have slammed into Venus, slowing its rotation and flipping its spin direction. Another theory is that Venus's thick atmosphere creates a kind of friction that slows its rotation over time. That atmosphere is no joke, it's 92 times thicker than Earth's. Speaking of that atmosphere, it's mostly carbon dioxide with clouds of sulfuric acid. Yikes! That's why Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system, with surface temperatures around 900 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt lead. So, while a day on Venus is super long, you wouldn't want to stick around for it. The pressure would crush you, the heat would cook you, and the air is basically poison. Venus might look like Earth's twin from a distance, but it's more like Earth's evil twin. Now, here's where it gets even weirder. Because Venus spins backward and so slowly, the time it takes for the Sun to appear to move across the sky, what we'd call a solar day, is actually 117 Earth days. So, if you were somehow standing on Venus, you'd see the Sun rise, crawl across the sky, and set over the course of 117 days. That's still shorter than a full Venusian year, but it's way longer than our 24-hour day. Can you imagine waiting 117 days for the weekend? And let's not forget, Venus is super close to the Sun, about 67 million miles away compared to Earth's 93 million miles. So the Sun would look huge in the sky, about 1.5 times bigger than it does here. But you'd barely see it through those thick, toxic clouds. Venus reflects a lot of sunlight, which is why it's the brightest object in our night sky after the moon. People often call it the evening star or morning star, even though it's not a star at all. Let's throw in a few more Venus facts to blow your mind. Did you know Venus has more volcanoes than any other planet in our solar system? Scientists estimate there are over 1,600 major volcanoes, and maybe even 1 million smaller ones. Some might still be active. Venus also has lightning storms, but they're not like Earth's. They're caused by those sulfuric acid clouds we mentioned earlier. And here's a cool one. Venus has no moons and no rings, unlike most other planets. It's a lone wolf in space. Humans have been fascinated by Venus for ages. The Soviet Union even landed spacecraft on Venus in the 1970s and 80s, the Venera missions. They sent back the first ever photos of Venus's surface, but the probes only lasted about an hour before the heat and pressure destroyed them. Venus is a tough place to visit, but it's so worth studying. Who knows what other secrets it's hiding? And that's exactly what NASA are doing with their Da Vinci and Veritas missions. As scientists study Venus with these expeditions, they hope to unravel more secrets about the planet and find answers to long-standing questions. Venus is hot, hellish, and unforgiving. With a toxic atmosphere and a sweltering surface. This is NASA's press release about the planned missions to Venus by Da Vinci and Veritas, the goals they have set, and what they hope to accomplish. I don't know about you, but that sends chills through my body. Just imagine what they will find, and how truly amazing it is that we are at a moment in history where we are able to dive further into space and the planets that surround us than ever before. Venus doesn't get the attention of some of the other planets, but as one of our nearest planetary neighbor, it's perfectly positioned for us to explore, with ever-increasing technology at our disposal. It's extremely unlikely humans will ever be able to land on Venus. The gravity is fairly close to Earth, at about 90% of ours. However, due to the poisonous atmosphere and temperatures that reach 867 degrees Fahrenheit, that's around 464 degrees Celsius, as well as extremely high air pressure, which is 90 times that, on Earth there is no way currently for us to land there. Maybe in 50 or 100 years we will have new technology that will enable us to do so, but for now Venus is strictly off limits to humans. What would you do if a day lasted 243 Earth days? How would you celebrate a birthday before the sun even rises? That's it for today's episode. A day longer than a year, Venus is truly out of this world. If you thought that was wild, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what other space topics you want to explore. Maybe Mars next? Or black holes?